Good afternoon, I'm Eric Reeser. The Jake Diebler radio show hits the fan in moments as basketball Buckeyes look to go 2-0 in Big Ten play, hosting number 14 Illinois tomorrow night at 7:30. OSU won at Northwestern over the weekend and will head to Cleveland to play West Virginia Saturday night. The 23rd-ranked Ohio State women's squad won at Northwestern yesterday 79-70. The 7-1 Buckeyes are back at the Shot Thursday, hosting Northern Kentucky. In college football, number 2 Ohio State's headed back to Dallas. Buckeyes will play in the Cotton Bowl quarterfinal against either Texas A&M or Miami Wednesday, December 31st at 7:30. And in the NFL, Week 14 wraps up tonight in Los Angeles. The Chargers host the Eagles at 8:15. Hear that one on the Fan following Buckeye Roundtable. This update sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. Together to serve you better. Schedule today at thewaterworks.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
From Learfield, this is the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance and by the American Dairy Association Mideast on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with Coach Jake Diebler and former Ohio State captain Ron Stokes, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Thank you for joining us this week for our show with Coach Jake Diebler on the heels of Ohio State's 86-82 win Saturday at Northwestern. Coach, thanks as always for your time, and let's just kind of kick things off by discussing the mental fortitude of being able to go on the road and win in the Big Ten.
Yeah, well, you got to be resilient, and you got to be really tough to win on the road in this league. And, I think for us, the way the game went, we showed great toughness and really connection there in the second half. So really proud of how our guys played.
I asked this question after the game, but I want to re-ask it as well during the show. Brandon Noe had a tough game prior to, didn't score a single point, less than 10 minutes. Talk about the conversation you had with him leading into this ball game.
Yeah, we felt like coming out of the Pitt game when you're kind of right looking and saying, okay, what were we missing? Where could we have gotten more? And it felt like he was a guy really throughout the course of the season up to that point was a guy that we could get more from. And, he and I just had a great conversation, and it wasn't like it was just working together to figure out how we could help him play more like he's capable of. Now, didn't anticipate him having, 29 coming out, but I think for us the theme was clarity, making sure, he understood, right, very specifically kind of, hey, here's where you need to be aggressive. Here's where, here's what we're expecting from you. And sometimes, right, that takes time to develop, but he handled it with just high-level maturity. And then, he came out and practiced like just the absolute best week of practice he's had up to this point. And I think I just told him, I said, you earned the right to play well, man. And now he's got to continue to practice that way. And I don't think he's going to average 29 the rest of the year, Ron, but I think
be nice.
I think he's really on the verge of kind of playing with at a higher level consistently.
Is that part of a natural progress or natural transition the guys have to make when they're going from like the Horizon League to the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I think not only maybe when you're changing levels, right, but just changing teams in general. And we got some really, really good players on this team, and Brandon he's a good player too. And I think what he did, for Wright State, and is in the way he played, it's completely different to how we're playing. We saw obviously potential rebounding, scoring, and versatility, and he got to do that right at a high level against Northwestern. So I think it's natural that it takes some time. And you're obviously fighting to speed that up, right, as much as you possibly can. But we've been together since June. I mean, that's the reality. So really proud of him, and like I said, we're expecting him, kind of hopefully this is like a launch pad for him to just play, with some real consistency at a high level.
Coach, as in your role in trying to lead these players, you try to use anything you can to get them to play. And I know in today's landscape, the change so much from year to year, but did you use any of what they did to Ohio State last year in this building, the Shansing Center, as motivation leading into this game, where it's like that's old news, it's just focusing on that game at hand?
Yeah, I think there was so many storylines that could have been taken, right? Certainly we didn't play well at all against them here last year. But for us, the focus, more importantly was, hey, you got an opportunity. Like, it's Big Ten play. And Big Ten play is starting, and all that comes in with that. And, we had an opportunity to start off 1-0. Like, we were either going to be 1-0 or 0-1. And, we talked about playing on the road and talked about what it takes to win on the road. And so that was more of the focus. I think us who were here last year, because so much of our team wasn't, but us who were here last year, we remembered, but we didn't like beat the drum on, hey, this wasn't a payback game. This was an opportunity for this team to start off conference play in a big way, and our guys did.
Can you see that there were lessons learned coming from Pittsburgh late in the game, clutch situations, into this game late in the game?
Yeah, no question. Our defensive execution, we was better. We did a better job guarding without fouling. We still fouled a little bit, but better job guarding without fouling. Still, there were two offensive rebounds we gave up. One, we went up with one hand, and the second one we had a contest, and we didn't re-engage in the play, which is something we work on. So those little things we gotta shore that up better. But, I thought our connection, and then guys stepped up, hit big-time free throws. We didn't shoot well from the free throw line for the game, but we hit some big ones down the stretch. And I was really impressed, specifically with Devin and Tilly, who did not play near to the level they're capable of throughout the majority of that game, but both stepped up in a big way down the stretch.
Hey, Coach, when you look at Martinelli, all his skill set, and he led the Big Ten in scoring last year, what makes it so difficult to defend a player like him?
Well, I think he's got elite touch, and it's a little unorthodox. So that gives him an advantage. But what makes him most special is his motor is elite. And if you look at a lot of his points, they came off offensive rebounds just because his motor is one of the best, and he catches that ball in a sweet spot, and they put shooting around him, so you're in a tough spot as to how much you can help and how much you're willing to give up on the perimeter. But I think his ability to draw fouls, like, there's a knack for that he's developed over the course of his career, but blend of physicality, athleticism, and then that elite touch, kind of 12 feet and in. And this year, what he's doing I think the best in his career is he's shooting the three-point ball, at an extremely high clip. Going into our game, he was super efficient and obviously 2 for 3 against us.
If you have a question for Coach Diebler, you can submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at ohiostatebuckeyes.com and click on Coach's Show inbox, Union Home Mortgage. Learn about their 1% down payment program at uhm.com. NMLS number 2229. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You stick to your coast at all costs. You never let traffic stop your drive. You aren't just a dreamer, you're a doer. You power through all of life's hills and valleys without hesitation. You're not looking to be discovered. You've already found your place. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, Buckeye fans, it's Polk Heels for Window Nation. Columbus, did you know you can get 2 free tickets to an upcoming Ohio State football game if you replace all the windows in your home with Window Nation? This month, they're offering 50% off all window styles, plus no payments for 2 whole years. That's right, no down payment, no monthly payments, and no interest until 2027. Get big savings plus 1-day installation with Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Modern Office Methods, your authorized RICO dealer, can help your business optimize your print production with a competitive advantage. Our digital printing options will expand the type of paper and substrates from what your business can print on today. Add variable data capability, which allows for personalization of catalogs and mailers, and the ability for short-run label printing, which allows your business to print high volumes of custom labels quickly and on demand. Want to learn more? Start with a print assessment at momnet.com. Why risk it? You can count on Mom.
At Giant Eagle, we believe in better, and that includes finding more ways to help you save. Because finding a good deal is everyone's deal. Because every dollar and every moment counts. Because value you can count on is priceless. On sale this season at Giant Eagle, you'll find lower prices through the end of the year on favorites like Honeycrisp apples, Oreo cookies, eggs, and more. Giant Eagle, because it matters. Limited time only through 12/31/25. Prices and participation may vary.
New creamy parm pizzas are now at Donato's. A decadent new sauce on 2 delicious new pizzas. Try the crave-worthy chicken veggie parm with roasted chicken, fresh veggies, and that rich creamy parm base. Or the savory bacon spinach parm, where smoky bacon meets fresh spinach for parm pizza perfection. Craving something different? Create your own creamy parm pizza today. Donato's. Gotta love more.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back to our show this week with Ohio State coach Jake Diebler. Our injury report brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And you talked this time last week about how guys were banged up. You had to be thrilled, Jake, with how guys muscled through and did what they needed to do Saturday.
Yeah, we had some guys really just spend overtime in the training room, you know, to get to a place where they could go out and play. And I think, listen, we still got a little ways to go, but we've really took advantage of that time between the Pitt game and Northwestern game, and thankfully came out of the Northwestern game, I think, with no setbacks. But guys got to keep working, keep spending extra time in the training room. We've got an unbelievable staff in there that help our guys, and you know it's the fine line of practicing hard to prepare to put yourself in position to play, but you want to be as healthy as you possibly can too. So I think we've managed that really well so far. We've got to continue to do so.
I know it was really cool that, with John Mobley hurting his ankle so badly that the first play of the game, he took it right to the basket, to his left. So that was a good sign to see that.
Yeah, that was an action we added, that week, and felt like it was a one away for hopefully to get him some, a little bit of momentum, and two, trusted him to make a read because we felt like he would be able to get it in the paint there, and he's read it really well. So that was good. It was great execution by our guys. We hadn't run that play in live game action yet, so to see it translate, in that way was really important, and it was good for him to get it through the hoop there early on.
We were talking earlier about Brandon Knoll and the game he had. Earlier in the non-conference, we were able to see the benefits of both he and Tilly, the way they could pass the ball back and forth to one another. That's got to be a great tool to have to work with.
Yeah, I think both those guys are really skilled, and they can dribble, they can pass, and they can shoot, and so Brandon, he had gotten in his own there in that game, and I just loved his aggressiveness. I think that's part of that clarity I talked about was it allowed him to be really, really aggressive, and he's got to continue to do that for us.
Coach, when you look at Devin Roy, you talked about earlier that he didn't necessarily have his best game, but tapping on what Paul just said, I thought there was some good interaction between him and Brandon Knoll down the stretch with that high-low situation. Just talk about how effective that has been for your team to score at times.
Yeah, we felt like, and this is one of the great parts about Devin kind of being the small forward for us is, puts teams in a bind when we set ball screens with him because now you either got to switch or he's going to get an open catch. And so what we did against that switch is we were able to move him now inside, and with having the shooting on the floor that we had, it put Northwestern in a real bind. And those guys had a great connection, and even Devin's drive where he kind of turned and dumped down on the other side, was great read. So, I think really in general the connection of this team has been great. And you saw that with a 24 assists, 11 turnover clip.
We'll start with some of our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. Pam in Worthington asking, what were the areas you were pleased with your team's defensive efforts down the stretch against Northwestern? Yeah,
I thought executing the game plan. I thought we still fouled a little bit too much, but our gap presence, our ability to guard a team who really runs a lot of different actions, and I thought we took away, aside from the start of the second half, easy looks for them. and made them really work to earn it. And so thought our execution was good. The execution of the game plan, our rebounding is improving. It's going to be critical for next game. But I thought our guys outside of the start of the game rebounded, better as well.
Coach, when you look at the style of Northwestern, they seem like they've increased their pace. What was some of the concerns you had of that in the game against them?
Huge concern was their ability to score in kind of the first 8 seconds of the shot clock. Reed for them provides a ton of pace, and their wings are really aggressive in transition. It's where they get a lot of their threes are in transition, and then the motor that which their forwards run the floor with, it puts you in a real tough spot. So for us, priority number one was taking care of the ball. Right, we had to take care of the ball so we didn't give them those, more of those opportunities. I think they're averaging, 16, 17 points a game off turnovers going into our game. So, but we taught that first 8 seconds, we had to get back, set our defense, and then get ready to guard those next actions that they do so well. But our guys did a good job in the fast break department.
When you look at 62 points in the paint, is that something that really speaks to the aggressiveness that you talked about with Brandon Knoll and others?
Yeah, Brandon. I thought Devin did a good job attacking, and I thought our guards did a good job attacking. That was really important. We felt going into the game plan, we had to put them in rotation by getting the ball into the paint, and there were a couple possessions that were really high level where we got inside, kicked it out, and then re-attacked, and I think that was. Again, our guys' ability to execute that part of our offensive game plan was impressive.
Yeah, I think that helps, too, with the fact that you're number one in the Big Ten in field goal percentage at 53%, so that's not too bad. I'm sure that getting the ball inside has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and our guys have bought into working hard offensively to create, high shot quality. And they trust each other. And I think the connection is part of that high field goal percentage, Ron. And I think, the pace we're playing with in the half court, certainly the pace in transition, but in the half court we're operating with more pace. When you got multiple guys who can pass and shoot, it really helps you.
That kind of led to the next question. Bruce Thornton and his distribution, is that also a big key in that?
Yeah, really important. Impressive stat line, for him. 10 assists, no turnovers.
Back-to-back double, yeah.
I was joking with him on that in the locker room. I said back-to-back double-doubles and in different ways.
Yeah.
So I thought he managed a great game. I thought he was really, really impressive. Both sides of the ball, got a couple steals. Defensively, I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he is. But he really set the tone sharing the ball. I thought Gabe came in and shared the ball really well. Devin had a couple of sets. So we had multiple guys with multiple assists, which was really good.
When you look at Bruce's value to this team, a four-year captain, starter, his stability out there on the floor, and then he's all over the place. He's 7th in scoring in the Big Ten. 5.1 rebounds per game, 12th in assists, just on and on. He's just so valuable as a basketball player.
Yeah, complete player, Ron. I mean, and again, I throw the defensive side in there, but plays a game with a really high basketball IQ, plays a game with elite toughness, and he's talented. I mean, I think, like, sometimes when you say, man, this guy works really, really hard, it's like, it's almost you're undermining their talent level, right? But he does work really, really hard, and he's really talented, and he's developed. I think that's the other thing. Like, you look at how he's developed as a player because he works so hard. So, yeah, we're fortunate that he's a lifelong Buckeye, and really proud of the start he's had so far.
How has Gabe Cup's presence helped take some of that load?
Yeah, well, I think you saw a little bit of this last year when we could have multiple playmakers on the court who could create. It allows a guy like Bruce, to find the ball, or the ball find him in different spots of the floor where maybe you don't have all eyes of the defense focused specifically on him in the middle third above the key. So Gabe's done a great job finding guys. Again, 4 assists, no turnovers. I think he's, 15 assists, 6 turnovers on the year, which is really good. It's important for us. And Junie's can play make. Tilly's play make. Devin has improved as a playmaker. So we got multiple guys out there who can create something not only for themselves but for others. And I think it's really helped our offense.
And with the value of Bruce Thornton, I know he played 37 minutes in the game against Northwestern. For the year, he's at 33.9. Is that at a level that you would like to keep it at in terms of not, kind of running?
I think that's less than last year, isn't it?
I think the biggest thing that I'm constantly monitoring, Ron, is just kind of how he looks on the daily. As far as do we notice fatigue? Do we notice? And so far, I mean, there hasn't been an ounce of it that you can look out there and say, like, man, Bruce looks tired today, or Bruce looks like he's worn out. We got a long season, obviously, and we got to be mindful of that. But he continues to work so hard at getting himself ready each and every day, and recovery, and what he does from a nutrition standpoint, and how he trains his conditioning. So, I think it's a little bit like he's going to be, one of our highest minute guys for sure all year long. Is it 32? Is it 34? Is it 30? We'll see. But I just think we're better, when he's on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but you also got to be mindful, and I thought we were able to get him some rest. This is one thing I try to do. If we're let's say we got the under 8 media timeout coming, and we got a dead ball with 8:39 on the clock, like, we'll try to get him out in that moment, right? So now he's getting maybe 39 seconds to a minute of game rest, but it's bigger than that because he's got the timeout. He's got that time he checks into when that timeout also hits. So it's a broader rest. So we've tried to be really strategic with some of that.
And then the other way that you can give him some rest is taking him off the ball, and that's the luxury of having John Mobley Jr.'s ability to be a quasi point guard.
Yeah, and on the other side too, John's really improved guarding the ball. Got to continue to get better off the ball defense in some of those areas, but he's really the biggest strides he's made defensively is guarding the basketball. So it's helped, yeah, absolutely. And being able to play through Tilly sometimes, or play through Devin sometimes, or play through Junie sometimes, it's helped Bruce for sure.
Is that where player strength comes into play?
Yeah, I think it's all it's all connected. There's no question. And guys being able to play to their strengths, also be physically strong, which I feel like we have a physically strong team. It's all connected.
We'll go back to our Union Home Mortgage questions. This is from Fostoria. Sam in Fostoria asking, seems
some people up there know you. Huh?
Special place to
Yes,
me.
it is. It seems like Ohio State lost a lot of games last year, similar to Saturdays that you won at Northwestern. Is there a missing ingredient added or improved upon, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I think improved upon certainly, and there's a collective toughness with this group that I really like. But I think, make no mistake, we have more experience. I have more experience as a coach. Our team has more experience. The guys we brought in are more experienced. So I think all of that and us going through some of that stuff last year was important. But I think the mentality of this team of staying the course, staying aggressive, playing tough and connected is why we've been able now. Like, we've had 3 close games and we've won 2 of them. And, we're going to have a lot more close games. We know that. But I think that's why we've been successful so far.
Coach, when you look at learning from past games, you're never going to play a perfect one, but down the last 2-3 minutes, every possession is so important. Just talk about the one turnover that happened. I think Devin Royal was taking the ball out. They were pressuring. There was a disconnect between him and I believe it was Bruce Stewart. But what are some of the things that you took away from that, and how you can improve the team so that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, well, really trust Devin taking the ball out of bounds. You can go back to I guess it'd be now 2 seasons ago with what he did at Michigan State. He was taking the ball out of bounds and didn't panic, and
Bonner.
Where Bonner hit the shot on the road. So trust him taking it out. I felt like in that moment, going back live and looking back on film, he didn't utilize his ability to run the baseline well enough. And we talked about it going out of the timeout. Remember, you can run. And the angle of the pass, Bruce had an advantage. But I think if he would have ran with Bruce another step or two, it would have been a more clear-cut pass. It was kind of just out of Bruce's reach, and so we've done a great job really in our full court execution. And that one, that one hurt. But trust those guys really, and they've all gotten better in that area.
We'll talk more when we continue with Coach Diebler in our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Toyota-thon is on. Get in the spirit of the season with a new Toyota. Now through January 5th, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Corollas and Corolla hybrids. Excludes GR and Corolla Cross. Or lease a gas-powered 26 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
'Tis the season to be hungry at Roosters. That's why for every $50 spent on Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Rooster Buck back in your stocking. May your holidays be filled with friends and family, love and laughter, and of course, Roosters Wings. Go to roosterswings.com today or drop by any Roosters location to purchase your $50 holiday gift cards and receive a $10 Rooster Buck in return. Happy holidays from all of us at Roosters. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. Now back to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
The Roosters Foundation helps raise over $1 million each year for local charities and organizations. And as the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes, the Roosters Foundation is donating $25 for every foul shot the Buckeyes make at home this season to the Down Syndrome Association of Greater Cincinnati, of Central Ohio, excuse me. That was a 30-year flashback. Welcome back to our show.
Well, speaking of Roosters, I can't wait till we can be, in person with where we got Roosters there, because I love me some Roosters.
Well, you're not alone.
So
you're not alone.
Until then, maybe Ron could come bearing gifts next time.
I have no problem with doing that.
Come on, right down the street here.
I have no problem with doing that.
Yes,
no problem.
Absolutely. You mentioned before we came on the air today, talking about the Northwestern game, the lift you got from Colin White. Just talk about what it is that he's done and how his health improving has been a big factor.
Yeah. What a roller coaster ride he's been on physically. And I think that takes a toll mentally as well, right? But he's so tough. And, for him, the last few weeks, he's been able to practice consistently. And I think that's helped him. It's helped me trust him, right? All of that. And, felt like with the toughness he brings, the defensive, he's a good defender. He plays really, really smart. He had aggressive move there where he scored. Like I think we're seeing real growth because he's getting some consistency in practice. And we got no reason to believe that's not going to continue to happen.
Coach, when you look at the productivity that you got off the bench, Paul talked about Colin White. What were some of the reasons when you look at the way that Northwestern played, like an Ivan Nagovin? Is that one of the reasons why he wasn't able to get in the rotation based on how they were playing, or what were some of the things that went into that?
Yeah, two things. I think one, they when they sub, they go smaller. We're about to play a team that could have 2 7-footers on the floor at the same time, right?
Against Illinois.
Correct. Northwestern goes smaller when they sub in the front court, and at times they play Martinelli at the 5. Right. And that coupled that with how well Brandon was playing, I think that's why it just wasn't a great opportunity for Yvonne last game. But like I told him, I said it's a different. Like we got to completely turn the page on this. It's a different story. Now with this upcoming opponent, and he's got to get ready to play. And he had some really good minutes against them last year. Remember, we were down Sean Stewart last year at their place, and Yvonne did some good things in his opportunity last year. So, he's got to be ready to go for us.
I want to tag on another question to that. In terms of your communication to your players, you talked about the talk you had with Brandon Knoll. When a guy is part of the rotation and he doesn't get in the game, what's your mentality of having some one-on-one conversation just so that they understand it? Nothing personal. It was just the way it was. How do you, as a coach, deal with that?
Yeah, well, I think transparency is really important, Ron, and you got to be able to have some hard conversations. I don't believe in you don't want to let things linger and fester, right? You want to talk it out. And listen, as part of being a head coach, you got to make some tough calls. You can't make everybody happy. But that's why we talk all summer about keeping winning first and winning over everything else. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? And so in those moments at a game where you're making a decision on who to put in, it's like we're trying to decide who's going to help us win the game in that moment, or who's going to help us win that segment. And there's when the back end of your rotation, it could vary at times. And listen, I've been there as a player. So that's hard. It's hard to manage, but that's why we talk all the time. Like next play mentality. Keep your focus on what's happening right here and what's coming next, instead of looking back and thinking about what's happened in the past. You got to stay ready, and you just like every day in practice is an opportunity to show your readiness, and you got to keep doing that. But it starts with just having honest conversations.
Is that something that with conference games sometimes that rotation can get a little shorter?
It can, yeah, it can, and I think it's hard, right? Because what you're asking some guys in the back end of the rotation to do is to play well without a real rhythm, and that's a challenge. I mean, I acknowledge that, right? And so you're trying to let them get a rhythm, trying to understand kind of where their spots are, where the rotation is, what their role, having the clarity of that role. All of that stuff is important. You do it through having conversations and watching film and coaching that in practice and all of that.
I'm going to go back to the Gabe Cups, and I know he's been struggling from the field. Good to see him knock down a shot. But I just thought defensively he made some really good plays there for your team to kind of get the game turned around a little bit there.
Yeah, he's second on our team, I think, in steals. He's disruptive defensively. Like he is a really good defender. He's taking care of the ball and creating for others at a really high level. He hasn't shot the ball as well as he's capable of, or as well as he shot it really throughout the course of his time here. I've talked about this. We track all that stuff, the analytics behind that, and he shot it. He shot it really well. So I liked that he was aggressive, in that he had a big time shot for us. I thought he was a little hesitant. He had a pull up he could have taken, going left to the middle of the floor that he hesitated on. He's got to be aggressive in that scenario. But I think he's playing to his role well. But he's got to step up, make shots for us, and it was good to see him do that because he can, and we believe in him.
Does he kind of fit that description you had earlier about being more experienced?
Yeah, he's been in college now. This is his third year. Obviously, he missed the season last year, but got a lot of minutes the year before. So I think having that experience and is certainly valuable for us.
We'll talk more with Coach Diebler when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender, NMLS number 2229.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Kroger, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Your home for Buckeye basketball. This is the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Welcome back to our weekly show with Coach Jake Diebler. Well, it's fun to talk football during commercial breaks, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Big. I tell you what, I know Saturday didn't go exactly how we wanted it to, but I like watching this team. I don't get to watch them a ton, but what Coach Day has done this year, and you know, man, we got some guys out there that I don't know a ton about football, but they look like they really know how to ball. So I'm excited about this run that they're about to go on.
Well, and we've asked you about it before, but if you would talk again about the platform that home football games gives you with what you're able to do on those football Saturdays.
It's unbelievable, Paul. And we talk in recruiting about the power of Ohio State, the impact it has on you, life after basketball, the passion of Buckeye Nation. There's no better display than a football Saturday. It just, whether our arena's packed, it's a fifth of the size. You just can't. There's no better display of just what makes Ohio State special than a football Saturday, and it doesn't get old. I've been able to be at a lot of those games. It doesn't get old. I still get excited, when that game starts, and it's. I think we see it when our guests come of just how much it enhances the overall experience.
You know, when I look at the NFL and also with college football, there is an advantage in that one game per week, and it's typically always Saturday. Back in the day, well, the NFL plays on every day now, but back in the day it was always Sunday and then one Monday night game. But I think that adds to it as well, that you know you have that one game on Saturday that you're building up to.
Yeah, it's so different than basketball, right? Where we're playing on any given night at who knows what time, you know. Yeah. So, even just the game, like the complexities of the game and how different they are, being able to, you know, you have a stoppage of play after every single possession. Yeah. Like, that's so foreign, you know, to what we do. I think the strategy behind football is it's so unique compared to basketball and the things you have. But what I love is seeing how our sideline operates on game day, how connected those guys, and you got almost like mini teams within the team, and the dialogue that's going back and forth. I like watching Coach Day operate on the sideline. It's fascinating. It really is. And I've said this publicly. Being able to spend some time with them this summer was really beneficial for us. It was beneficial for me. And it was benefit. We took some of the things that they do inside the Woody Hayes Center, and we incorporated it in our program as well. So thankful for Coach Day and let me have that access.
You know, Paul, I thought I heard you ask this question to Coach Day or someone about, in all these years and all the success in Ohio State football, not one single coach has won Coach of the Year. Is that?
No, that's not true. It had been when Coach Day won the Coach of the Year award.
Okay.
It had not happened since Coach Bruce.
Since Coach Bruce.
Yes.
Okay. But it's been very
think
limited.
About Coach Cooper, Coach Tressel, and Coach Meyer. None of them had won Coach of the Year in the Big Ten.
Wow. Think about that, Paul. So,
Ohio against the world. That's what I have to say about that. Ohio against the world.
Yeah, that kind of goes into, like, winning is not easy, and they kind of take that for granted. Hey, they have a level and excellent. You still got to recruit the players. You got to coach them. And they're like, oh, they're Ohio State. They're supposed to win, right? So,
yeah. Well, there's some other good coaches out there, too.
Yeah,
However.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. Kelly in Gahanna asking any update on Josh Janowa and when he might be able to practice or play.
Yeah, we're obviously getting really close to having to make a final decision and determination on this year for him. His progress has been good. You know, he's now moving and doing some things, but it's getting to that point where we got to make a decision here soon. And we're going to wait really until kind of that last possible minute to make, certainly keeping in mind the best thing for Josh, but also, you know, for us as well.
And is there also still the potential that you could get an NCAA ruling on an extra year of eligibility in all cases?
Yeah, it sounds like that's been tabled.
Okay.
And won't really impact this year's class as of right now. The one thing we do know, this stuff could change on any given day. So we could get an email by the time practice starts today. You know, that's the one thing we know about the NCAA. But yeah, we're not banking on that as far as his decision. I think, you know, if we get kind of some word that's where the direction it'll go, that'll obviously help us make that decision.
You know, speaking of that, you know, you talk about the injuries to Christoph Tilley having a problem with his foot, and then also John Mobley Jr. with his ankle. Having that quasi bye week was very helpful. You had a whole week to prepare for one game.
Yeah, it was huge.
Great time.
It was huge. And quite honestly, you know, we had to make a decision, right, directly after Pitt. Like, we had to go out and get better at some things, but we had to get healthier. And so we did. And you know, people don't realize this is the thing you don't know. Like, you know, Mobley came back to practice after a couple days and actually sprained the same ankle, you know, again a little bit. And again, show great toughness, you know, to come back. But I think that's part of, you know, it's part of the game. And so you can't practice out of fear, right? But you want to be mindful and give yourself the best chance for guys to be healthy and keep them out of harm's way. And I've said it, we have an unbelievable staff. Our performance team is top of the line. The collaboration that's happening, you know, behind the scenes, I think has been great, and it's improved from the year before. That's the reality. It's part of learning, I think, and being in this position is finding ways where we can be better in the margins, and that was an area I felt like we could even take another jump forward, and credit that team. You know, they've done a great job so far this year and getting our guys ready to go.
You alluded to them earlier, but if you would talk about the Illinois team you're going to see tomorrow night.
Yeah, really, really talented team. Elite rebounding team. Their offensive numbers pop off the page. They got multiple guys. I think they got 5 guys scoring in double figures. So, Boswell's really, really important for him. He's a veteran. He's tough. Can score it at multiple levels. They're going to shoot a lot of threes. They're good. They're good. Like there's no kind of way around it. But I think we are too. And we're looking forward to the opportunity to be at home on another big time Big Ten game, which we got 19 more. So I think that's the thing is this isn't the Big Ten of the old where it used to be you could look at the schedule and say, hey, here's 5 games where you just got to play okay and you're going to win. Home, road, doesn't matter. Not today. Every single game. Doesn't matter where you're at. You got to bring it at a high level every single game, and certainly it's going to be the case tomorrow night.
Hey, Coach, I know that you've done a decent job bringing some guys from Europe, but you look at Illinois, they have a number of guys, and when you look at somebody, I think one of their guys is 20, he'll be a 23-year-old sophomore. So that's experience.
Yeah.
Against a 19-year-old or 18-year-old.
Yeah, it's there's different buckets now that you can recruit from, and they've certainly been aggressive in the international space, and I think you're seeing guys come, international players come over where you can find guys with more. It used to be international players coming over really young. Right now you're finding international players come over who have a great deal of experience, who have been playing high-level basketball for multiple years. So, I don't know, like if you can even look at a roster and see freshman, sophomore, you got to dig a little deeper, to get an understanding of really where this player's coming from and what their experience level is. And they've got some guys with some high-level experience.
I think they got to add how old they are as a number, along with the weight and the size. Put how old they are.
Put like the birth year.
Yeah, 25-year-old senior.
We just saw a 27-year-old punter Saturday night. We'll have more when we continue with Coach Diebler with our weekly show presented by Roosters and the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Don't miss a minute of the Ohio State football postseason presented by CareSource, Kroger, and Spectrum. Celebrate the culmination of the 2025 season with all of Buckeye Nation and follow along on the official athletic site. From the opening postseason kickoff to the final whistle in Miami, we have you covered. It's the 2025 Ohio State football postseason presented by CareSource, Kroger, and Spectrum. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/postseason central 2025 now for more information. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at
osu.edu/impact.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Toyota Thon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like the best-selling Toyota Camry. Now through January 5th, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Camrys, or lease a new 26 Camry LE for $269 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details, or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
'Tis the season to be hungry at Roosters. That's why for every $50 spent on Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Rooster Buck back in your stocking. May your holidays be filled with friends and family, love and laughter, and of course, Roosters Wings. Go to roosterswings.com today or drop by any Roosters location to purchase your $50 holiday gift cards and receive a $10 Rooster Buck in return. Happy holidays from all of us at Roosters. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Hear every Buckeye game every year. The Fan. You're listening to the Jake Diebler Show, presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network. Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Kroger, Donato's, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus, and supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care. Welcome back to our show with Coach Diebler. Ohio State is ready to host Illinois tomorrow night at 7:30. Should let Ron ask this question. It's from the Union Home Mortgage Inbox list of questions. You want to ask this one, Ron? You remember what it is here?
I think I can.
Yeah, the one on the bottom.
Okay, yeah. Do you have to be more mindful of what you say or how you say it with fans sitting between the scores table and the bench? This is Willem from Lithopolis.
So I feel like, Ron, I don't really say anything too crazy to begin with. I'm intense. I've been told, but I don't. Listen, I think we operate with high level respect in our program, but it is. I think I've knelt down a little bit more this year when I'm at home.
Really?
Than maybe in the past.
Well, most of those guys that sit there. You got the Schottenstein, Brian Corey, and then our good friend Bill Lewis.
Huge, big-time supporters and friends of the program. I've gotten good feedback to say that they like hearing some of the dialogue between head coach and assistants or head coach and player. But yeah, you don't really think about that at all. I think it's a cool thing we've added. I think it's great. But you don't think about it at all during the game. If you catch wind that I need to be more mindful, let me know. All right.
Well, and hopefully the folks sitting there aren't offering their opinions on things too.
Haven't had any of that yet.
Okay, good.
Yeah, none of that.
Oh, good.
I might have handed the clipboard to one of them by just not paying attention who was behind me instead of the assistant. I don't know if I did that or not, but that's good.
Oh, my goodness. You've got Illinois tomorrow, and not to look past that at all. But then this coming weekend, Saturday, you're facing West Virginia up in Cleveland in the Cavaliers Arena. This is not a new thing, but what's it kind of like to have that game occur and also to be able to take the Ohio State brand up to Northeast Ohio?
Yeah, it's a big-time game. Obviously, we got all our attentions on this one tomorrow night. But, when we looked at building the schedule, I like the idea of playing a game at least every couple years somewhere else in the state of Ohio because Buckeye fans are everywhere. So that's part of it. And then, that game in Cleveland between Ohio State and West Virginia has been proven to be such a high-level game. Great atmosphere, be a great crowd there. So, yeah, I mean, when you're trying to schedule hard games, you're trying to get right in the non-conference, like that one there checks off all the boxes. So that's why we did it.
Coach, when you're looking at putting your schedule together, what goes into maybe going out of conference once you get in conference, the pros and cons of that?
Yeah, it's unique with the way the Big Ten schedule is and, trying to fit those at least one or two conference games in early December. So, but it's kind of the new norm. So you're just prepared to know that, hey, when we're building out the non-conference schedule, we got to have a block of dates available for Big Ten play. And then we communicate directly with the Big Ten to make sure we're all on the same page. So we're not putting ourselves in a situation where we have a scheduling conflict.
And then when you look at what's going to happen later in the year with Virginia, and we used to see some of those TV games after the first of the year. One would imagine that's got to be kind of a special deal.
Yeah, well, there's been a couple other schools lead the way. Illinois did it in our league last year, and even though they didn't play particularly well, Underwood said he thought it was great for him. And for us, it's a simulation of an NCAA tournament style game. Where you're going to a different city, it's outside of your normal cadence. It breaks up Big Ten play a little bit, and it's an opportunity for a big-time win during the time of the year where you're trying to rack up big wins. So talked to John Shire about it. He thought it was great. So, talking to people who had done it, we felt we wanted to be aggressive with it, and I'm glad it worked out, and Virginia's a really good team, and playing in Nashville will be really, really fun too.
Coach, in terms of I've asked this question before about the pace. I know you like the up-tempo. Where are you with that in terms of satisfaction with your team and the way you want them to play?
Yeah, well, we didn't do a good enough job against Pittsburgh. We were better against Northwestern. I think it's fluid, right? You're never fully satisfied. But when I evaluate pace, we want a number of possessions. We think the higher the possession, that's a benefit for us. But I'm also evaluating what our pace is in the half court, and it was much better against Northwestern than it was the game before.
Jake, thanks as always, and all the best come tomorrow night with Illinois.
Thanks, guys. Go Bucks.
All right, thanks for listening to today's show, presented by Roosters and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance and by the American Dairy Association Middies. Join us tomorrow as Ohio State hosts Illinois. Our pregame coverage begins at 6:45 p.m. For Skip Mossick, Jacob Reimer, Ron Stokes, and Coach Jake Diebler, this is Paul Keels. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.